When I think of cooking dinner, there are two memes that come to my mind. Who knew that the hardest part of being an adult is figuring out what to cook for dinner every night for the rest of your life until you die? 2 hours of cooking just to finish eating in 10 minutes, and then you've got to wash everything. Assalamu alaikum and hello everybody. So cooking dinner is one of life's biggest responsibilities. I know this might sound over dramatic, but as humans, one of our core needs is to eat food. We need to eat in order to survive. So the person who is responsible for feeding themselves and others plays a very important role. If this person is you, welcome. And if you don't have some kind of routine or plan, then the thought and responsibility of making dinner every night will either overwhelm you or depress you. And we don't want that. So what can we do? This is where meal prepping can save your life and your mental health. So in this video, I'm going to share some of my favorite tried and tested meal prepping hacks. These hacks will help busy mums save time for the more important things in life, like watching Netflix. I'm joking, like spending time, quality time with our loved ones and families. So before we dive in, let's discuss what meal prepping is. So meal prepping is the process of preparing snacks, meals and ingredients ahead of time. So there are three main reasons that people prefer meal prep to making meals on the go. The first one, very important, is it saves time. You'll spend less time thinking about what to make for dinner, and then you won't have to worry about getting the ingredients for dinner and then putting those ingredients together every night. So it definitely saves time. The second reason is that meal prepping helps you make healthier choices. So if you have your meals prepared for the week ahead of time, you're less likely to make unhealthy choices. When you're tired after a long day of work or parenting, you might want to turn to a takeaway because it's the easiest option. But if you have your meals prepared ahead of time, you won't need to make that unhealthy choice and you'll feel better for it. Also with meal prepping, you can make sure that you've got well-balanced meals prepared ahead of time. So you've got your protein in your meal prep, vegetables, fruit, things like that. The third reason is that meal prepping saves money. Who doesn't want to save money in the current climate? We all want to save a little something, I'm sure. With one trip to the supermarket, you can get all the ingredients that you need for the week ahead, and you can make sure that you get the most value for money on your shop instead of going out every evening or every other evening to the supermarket and picking up the most convenient and expensive item they have. So let me share my first meal prepping hack. Get your hands on a chopper or dicer or processor sooner rather than later. If you want to save time in the kitchen and you don't have gadgets to help you, then you've already lost time. So there are two main gadgets that I use to help me with my meal prep. One of them is up there and I really love it. It's called the NutriBullet Magic Bullet Kitchen Express. I purchased mine from Argos a few years ago and it was about £70 then. It's available on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for you. So I mainly use it to slice, grate and process vegetables, especially onions. If you've watched my meal prep videos, you'll have seen me use it to process lots of onions and it saves me so much time and hassle. If you're just starting out with meal prep and don't want to spend too much, you can go to B&M and Home Bargains, maybe even Argos, and they should have some cheaper processors or choppers available. The other gadget that I love to use is a food chopper. Mine is a Briefton branded one. I'll put an Amazon link in the description for you. This item was actually gifted to me by a subscriber and I'm really grateful that they gifted it to me because I use it all the time. So I use it to chop vegetables to add to curries or omelettes. I also like to chop potatoes into chunks before boiling them for mashed potato or if I'm making pakoras. It comes with 3 attachments so you can chop into bigger chunks or smaller chunks, and it's got a little cleaner to get into all the nooks and crannies. My second meal prepping hack is to do your meal prep on the same day as you do your grocery shop. So we do a weekly grocery shop and I make sure that I prepare any meals, ingredients or snacks on the same day as our grocery shop. This method saves me a lot of time because instead of putting all the groceries away and then taking them out on another day to meal prep, they're already out and available for me to use. The third hack is to cut and portion meat for each meal. So I plan and prepare meals for the week before I do my weekly shop, and then I'll buy appropriate amounts of meat or fish or veg to use for the meals that I've planned. So for example, if I plan to make chicken fajitas for one night for dinner, I'll buy whole chicken breasts. I'll cut the chicken breasts into chunks and then put them into a freezer bag and freeze them for use on the night that I'm going to make the chicken fajitas. Ideally put a label on the freezer bag to make it easier, but I'm a little bit lazy for that. So on the night that you're going to make chicken fajitas, you've got your ready cut chicken breasts into chunks, you've got the right amount, and you don't need to worry about defrosting whole chicken breasts, which takes longer anyway. You can just take the freezer bag out and defrost it, and then it's ready to chuck into your pan for your fajitas. This method makes meal prep much easier and more efficient, and ideally when you do your meal prep, you should have 6 or 7 portions of meat, fish or veg ready to be used throughout the week. The fourth hack is to use frozen vegetables or pre-made ingredients. Don't be shy to use ready frozen ingredients from the supermarket, for example, diced or sliced onions or frozen garlic cubes. Supermarkets have got a huge variety of ready to use frozen vegetables, sliced, chopped, diced in whichever variety you like. Conveniently packaged, and there's no shame in taking a shortcut or two when you're busy and tired and you've got other priorities in life rather than spending a good few hours in the kitchen every night. Nobody is going to judge you for using ready-made frozen ingredients, although they might judge me for sharing this with you. The next hack is to batch prepare base ingredients for your meals. So if you insist on using fresh only ingredients in your meal prep, which is fine, then why not chop or slice a batch of ingredients to freeze in portions? I've done this in the past with onions. Get ready to cry lots of tears when you're cutting them onions, and other vegetables like aubergines, bell peppers and garlic. It's really satisfying to chuck a block of frozen onions into a pan and watch it sizzle back to life, knowing that you didn't have to do any meal prep on the day. A really easy meal prep hack is to make meals that can be made in one pot. Not only does this save time and a hassle, it also saves on washing up, and who doesn't love that? I love making a pilau at least once a week. A pilau is a rice dish cooked in broth or stock with added meats or vegetables. I cook pilau in a large pan, and if I want to make extra, I can to freeze throughout the week in portions for myself or the family to enjoy. Some other one-pot meals include soup, especially at this time of year, a casserole, or a one-pot pasta or spaghetti dish. Another meal prep hack that I love is to make 2 meals for one. So when you're making dinner, make an extra meal to freeze. You're making dinner anyway, why not just double up the ingredients and make an extra one? Let's say, for example, you're making lasagna, why not double up the ingredients and make yourself an extra lasagna to freeze for another day in the week or for the following week? This is such an easy and efficient way to meal prep because you won't feel burdened, as you won't really be increasing your workload. You're making dinner anyway. Meal prep hack number 8 is to have an emergency meal. One of the most difficult times to think about cooking dinner is when there's an emergency, or for example, if your child is poorly. My children are really clingy when they're not feeling well, especially when they were younger, and it would be near impossible to spend more than 5 minutes in the kitchen when they're not feeling well. It saves so much stress to have one decent family meal prepared in the freezer for those difficult times in life. Of course, it would be even better if you've got family or friends or neighbours to step in when you're going through a difficult time to help out with meals, but not everyone has this luxury, so instead we can meal prep. If you can't have an emergency meal prepared in the freezer, just make sure you've got some ready freezer options like fish fingers, chicken nuggets, chips that you can just chuck in the oven and not worry about. The next hack is to cut up fruit and vegetables to eat throughout the week. This is such a simple meal prep hack to add to your routine, and it will help you stay healthy on those days when you want to reach for an unhealthy snack when you're extra busy or tired. Cut up and slice fruit and vegetables like cucumbers, carrots, apples, lettuce. Put them into containers or pots or resealable bags and refrigerate to eat throughout the week. Things like lettuce do go brown really easily, so make sure you're only cutting up the amount that you're actually going to eat in the next few days. And you definitely don't want to waste any food. My final hack is the most enjoyable part of meal prep, and this is to treat yourself. Give yourself a little treat when you have completed your meal prep. For me, this means a coffee and something sweet. For you, it might be a takeaway, but that kind of negates the whole point of meal prep. I really hope you found this video useful, and all the best with your meal prep. I'm going to end on a quote from Ken Follett, which says, "Hard work should be rewarded by good food." Take care, salam, bye.